Hello everyone, this is Crystal. My topic is cosplay, and cosplay is short for costume play, and the origination of cosplay is in Japan. It was thought to have originated in 1978, but the Japanese have been wearing costumes way before then. Most Japanese people feel that costuming is silly, but the district of Harajuku does a lot of the costuming, or that's where people go to show off their costumes. Even though cosplay is Japanese in origin, they got the idea from America. A Japanese person apparently went to one of our Star Trek conventions and saw the idea and decided to apply it to Japanese animation. As I said, our costumes originally started out being Star Wars, Star Trek, things like comic books like Superman, and even role plays that were history-based fantasy, something like steampunk. We began cosplaying or using Japanese-related things around the 1990s, and the first convention, Amaun, in Dallas, Texas, originated about 20 years ago, which would have been around 1990s. I had the pleasure of going this year, and I have to say that it's very organized, whereas when I go to Otakon, which has about 35,000 people, I have to wait in line for at least an hour for my badge. At Akon, which has about 15,000 people, I didn't have to wait in line at all. It was very nice. Madonna is actually a fan of anime. She's a fan of Death Note, and in one of her videos, Jump, she cosplayed a character. She actually crossplayed, which means she did a male character rather than a female. And the character is Mello, and I have a picture of Mello and Madonna. The next thing I'm going to show you is cosplay pictures of other people. I'll start with 3 Japanese girls. Of course, Japan's costumes are a lot better, but that is because there are a lot of companies in Japan that actually will make the costumes for them, and there's also a lot of dedicated people who will spend months on their costumes. The first character I'm going to show you is from the same game as the person I cosplayed as before, Riku. This is Yuna from Final Fantasy X-2. The cosplayer is right here. And Yuna, who she's cosplaying as, is the middle character. The next girl I found did her own version of Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And here she is. The last cosplayer did my favorite character from Bleach. Her name is Nell, or Neriel. Nell, when you originally meet her, is in a child form, but then she regains her memory and she transforms. When she transforms, she rips her clothes. So this particular girl was doing that version. And here is a reference of Nell coming back into that form. The next 3 cosplayers are American. The first is a relatively popular one on DeviantArt. Her name is Adela. She's cosplaying Belle from Beauty and the Beast, the Disney version. When she had this picture taken, she was apparently driving with her husband past that field, and she made him stop so she could get pictures because it reminded her very much of Belle. The next cosplayer is an acquaintance of mine. She's very good. Her and her boyfriend both have a major in costuming, I believe. And they cosplayed Fi and Kurogane from Tsubasa. Here is a reference of Fi and a reference of Kurogane. The next thing I'll do is explain what I'm wearing. I am wearing my original character, Amaun, who is also male. As you can see, no chest or anything. I have a compressor on to do that. The references are a plushie that a friend made for me, and a picture I colored that a friend drew for me. The costume is relatively simple. I went to a Goodwill and bought both the pants and the shirt. The shirt's a men's extra large. I cut the sleeves and the collar off and got some stiffener and some material and measured to about here, which is where the collar should fall, but because the stiffener is not holding it up anymore, it doesn't fall there. After measuring it, I made sure it was completely even around, and I hand sewed everything. My mother then attached the collar that I made with a machine to the top. Pants are men's pants as well. I cut them off at the knee and sewed the cuffs on. My cousin had to finish the costume and sewed the other cuff on, but her stitches were too loose and the washing machine ate the poor thing. I'll have to fix that then. It also came with boots, but those are in such bad shape I won't show you them. The wig was bought on eBay and styled by me, and the horns were custom made for me by a person on Etsy. I also have his weapons, which are tonfa, and I have medical tape on my face because he has medical tape on his, and I actually have eyeliner on because he has dark circles under his eyes. His eyes are actually yellow, but I couldn't afford contacts. I was going to show you another costume and explain the concept in progress, but unfortunately the video that I originally took was 15 minutes long, so I'm going to have to cut it short. Basically, cosplaying, as I have said before, takes basic sewing knowledge on how to improvise to make your own patterns. For me, the costume that I will be making will require me to learn woodworking because I'm going to be working with a jigsaw to make the character who I was going to concept for you, Zidane, and be making his weapons. You also have to sometimes work with fiberglass because I know people make that. There's even people who learn metalworking to make their weapons. You sometimes have to work with glue when the sewing won't work. You have to paint. Sometimes you even have to use clay, and even basic knowledge in how to hairstyle and everything if you want to style your own wigs rather than have somebody else do it. The important part is that you really enjoy yourself, or it's going to be a really rough process. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I will definitely enjoy watching everybody else's. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.